Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This one's from user Throwaway Kaz. My wife stopped taking her birth control without informing me. My wife and I have been married almost 9 months. We tied the knot last December. We came into the relationship both wanting children. However, we had mutually discussed and agreed to wait until we owned a home, I finished school, and we had our finances in order more to start trying. The entirety of our relationship, she's been on the pill as her preferred method of birth control. My wife is out having dinner with her parents tonight, while I'm hanging out at the house with some friends. She had ordered groceries to be delivered earlier today, and when they arrived, I, of course, started putting them away. One of the items she purchased was a pregnancy test, which was such a shock that I literally felt my stomach drop when I saw it. Immediately, I called her and asked why on earth she ordered a pregnancy test. Turns out, about a month ago, she decided to stop taking her pill because she thought we were ready for children. I asked why she wouldn't get my input on something so huge, and she replied that she wanted to surprise me. I told her there's literally 100 different surprises that I would prefer currently, told her I'd see her later, and ended the call. Her period is due later this week, so unless she plans on taking it early, we won't know if she's pregnant for a few days. I'm livid. We are not in the position to become parents currently. I certainly don't want to be bringing a newborn into the world during a health crisis. I don't know if it's justified considering we are married and both eventually want children, but I feel absolutely betrayed that she would make a decision like this behind my back. We had even agreed that if somehow we got pregnant while she was on the pill, that we wouldn't go through with the pregnancy. I know she'll be coming home soon, and honestly, I don't even want to look at her right now or know what to say. Am I right to be upset about this? What should I do? I'm currently working a full-time job while pursuing my master's. I literally do not have the time to be a suitable parent. Wow, OP, first of all, yes to your question, you are absolutely right to be upset. She definitely did betray you. I mean, what you guys had agreed upon. She took it upon herself to make a decision for the both of you that has a huge life impact. That is not right, and that is not what you do to a partner. To be honest, if I put myself in your position, I don't know what I would do. All I know is that I would be just as furious at you and I'd probably blow up, so I'd try to calm down before I talk to my wife. What do you guys think about this situation? Do you side with the wife or do you side with OP? Do you think this is a unilateral decision that she can just take like that and then surprise him with a baby? And also, going off birth control while you're in a relationship, is that something you share with your partner? Or is that something you keep to yourself? Let me know in the comment section what you think. And in the meantime, let's move on to the community comments to see what they have to say. Complete Entry says, Wendy Williams advised her viewers to do this. Your spouse was feeling insecure in their relationship and feels this gives her more power. If you think she was honest when she agreed to terminate an unwanted pregnancy, you're wrong. If she's not pregnant, file. Plenty State 2879 says, Google reproductive coercion and send her a link. In some places, this is considered sexual assault. And also, get a lockbox or safe for your condoms and only you have the key or password to it. If she complains that you don't trust her, look her in the eye and say, You're right, I don't. You have to earn it back. Freya Frost says, This is horrible. If she is pregnant, save your texts and any proof because this is reproductive coercion and you could take her to court. Also, I think divorce or marriage counseling is a must for you. To this, Snowy Seaflower adds, This is tricky because even though she basically assaulted him, the child did nothing wrong and is entitled to financial support from both parents. If you look up cases of male abuse, the victims, most frequently underage, still had to pay child support to their abusers. OP responds, I wonder if I could at all use her actions to get custody myself. OP's edit. She just texted me, I'm so sorry that you're reacting this way. You've seemed really unhappy lately and I thought you would consider this good news. Wow, OP, on top of breaking your trust in a horrible way, she didn't even give you an apology. That is a horrible non-apology. I'm sorry that you're reacting this way. has nothing to do with taking accountability. It would be totally different if she would say something like, "I'm sorry I made you feel this way," or "I'm sorry I broke your trust." That would be her owning what she did, which is horrible. But with this response, she's just deflecting any kind of responsibility. So here's what I would do. I would probably really consider divorce at this point, because this is clearly a person that cannot be trusted. Hopefully, she's not pregnant, but if she is, you do need to go for full custody if you can. What do you guys think OP should do at this point? While you think about that, let's move on with the update to see what ended up happening. I never expected the amount of replies I ended up receiving on my post, nor did I even realize the gravity of my wife's betrayal at the time of posting. I had a lot of people comment or reach out asking for an update, so here goes. I had made the decision that until we knew if she was pregnant or not, that I just wanted some distance to think and cool down from my initial anger and shock. I told the wife this, and spent a few days over at a buddy's house trying to process everything. Ironically, my wife's birthday fell within the days I wasn't home, so she's been extremely pissed at me too. She ended up informing me this morning that she got her period and asked if that means I'm coming home now. I'm still feeling extremely betrayed by her, and although we did dodge the bullet this time around, I have so little trust in my wife now that I don't know if our relationship will be salvageable. I'd rather be a young divorcee than feel like I need to keep my condoms in a lockbox or something to prevent my own spouse from tampering with them. I'm not 100% sure if therapy would even be worth it considering she's still infallible in her own mind, but I guess if she sees the light and genuinely apologizes soon, I'd be willing to pursue it just because I do love her. As far as I'm concerned, the ball is in her court, and if she wants to try and make this right, it's going to take some actions on her part that show she's truly sorry and willing to earn my trust back. I'm not sure that even if she does make the effort that our relationship is repairable at this point. But maybe after some extensive couples therapy, we can figure out exactly where our relationship went wrong, where she thought that behavior would be acceptable. Thanks, Reddit. Okay, OP, hold on a second. You say she's still infallible in her own mind. That means she doesn't think she did anything wrong, which of course means she will never apologize for it. In my opinion, if you want this whole thing to be salvageable, she needs to take accountability for her actions and understand that what she did was a horrible betrayal of trust. If she doesn't see it and still apologizes in that really non-apologetic way, then I would say, yeah, don't even go to therapy, because what's the point? Do you think somebody who believes is infallible will listen to a therapist telling her that she was at fault? She's probably gonna feel like you and the therapist are ganging up on her and she's gonna gaslight you for doing it. So maybe cut your losses. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a cynic, but I honestly don't see a bright future for your relationship if this pattern keeps occurring. What do you guys think about this relationship right now? Well, anyways, there is still some time left in the video, so let's try and squeeze in another post. This one's from user Engineer Doing Life. Relationship with pregnant best friend while infertile. My 28 female, husband 30 male and I have been together for 8 years, married for about 1.5. I had a major health scare 6 years ago with implications that it would impact my fertility. So we started trying for children as soon as we got married because I knew my chances for having children naturally could be greatly affected and wanted to have a large margin for error. My best friend, 27 female, got married to her husband, 26 male, 5 months ago. I was her matron of honor and we've been best friends for 15 years. They found out 4 months ago that they are unexpectedly pregnant, due spring 2021. I found out a month ago, after a multitude of tests and scans, that my most pessimistic concerns were true, and that I am fully incapable of conceiving my own children without major medical intervention. I will have to have surgery this year, and following that will only be able to have children via IVF, in vitro fertilization, which is incredibly expensive and won't be an option for us financially for a couple years at least. After this news, it's been very difficult for me to see bump dates or identify with how difficult her pregnancy has been. I love her, but when I see a Snapchat about her morning sickness, I'm filled with jealousy, not compassion. I can't express how guilty I feel about that and how much I tried to suppress it, but it felt like salt in the wound, even though I know she would never intend to make me feel that way. So, a few weeks ago, I called her in FaceTime and explained my newfound health issue and asked if she could refrain from snapping or texting me with the group her bump dates. I did tell her I was having a hard time hearing her complain about pregnancy and that I was struggling with feelings of jealousy. And she seemed very understanding. She told me she felt for me and still loved me and that it wouldn't get in the way of our friendship. I told her that I was sure I would adapt and still wanted to be a part of her life. Since then, I haven't heard from her. She has responded to a couple of memes I've sent her on social media, but otherwise ignored all of my outreach. I miss my best friend. We used to talk almost daily. I just want advice on how to rebuild this bridge. I'm coming to terms with my diagnosis, so I'm not scared to hear about her pregnancy in conversation. Though getting an unexpected ultrasound while I am at work will still be emotionally triggering. How do I balance this line? Am I being irrational with boundaries? I don't want to lose my friend. Well, OP, the first thing I want to say is I am so sorry that you have to go through this. This is very heartbreaking because of how much you want a pregnancy. Now, I'm not going to go into what options you have because I am more than certain you've already looked into them. So, on to your problem. I think the boundary that you set is perfectly fine. However, the fact that your friend hasn't reached out to you doesn't mean she doesn't love you. It means that maybe the only thing in her mind right now is her pregnancy. She is, growing a baby inside of her. She feels it. She goes to sleep thinking about it. She probably wakes up thinking about it too. And that is her number one priority in life right now. So she won't have many other topics to talk about. I would think that is the main reason why she hasn't reached out to you, because she knows that if she says anything regarding her pregnancy, that might trigger a bad response on you or make you feel bad, and she doesn't want to hurt you. What do you guys think is going on with OP's friend? And while you think about that, let's continue with the community comments to see what they have to say. Suchesfix says, go to a therapist. Work on controlling your jealousy and sadness first. OP responds, I am seeing a therapist. It was at her suggestion that I contact those around me whom I feel comfortable with doing so and express my emotions, which I have done. I just worry about finding a place where I can support her. I guess I didn't consider that she might also need to come to terms like I have. To me, it seems like she has everything, but to her, she has an unexpected pregnancy and a friend who would do anything for it. That could also be difficult. Can you not 929 says, you are going to have to learn how to just be happy for her. It's okay to be jealous or sad, but if seeing the bump and stuff is too painful, it's probably not going to get any less painful once you see her with a baby, unless you allow yourself to go through the stages of grief and accept this. It doesn't make you a bad friend to ask not to see those things right now, and she probably isn't talking much to you because she doesn't want to offend you or upset you. I'm guessing most of her world is revolving around her pregnancy right now, but being a first-time mom, or any-time mom, isn't easy. There will be hard moments ahead for her as well, perhaps even PPD, postpartum depression, or other issues where she will need her friend. Remember that you are a whole person and do not need to be a mother to complete yourself, even if it feels that way. Remember to do the things that make you happy and take time for yourself. Try to find joy in the joy of your friend, and if you can't, don't beat yourself up too much. Just try again the next day, and most importantly, love yourself. OP responds, I really am happy for her. I think my largest difficulty is that she isn't so happy about the pregnancy herself. So as someone who wants that so badly, it's hard to see her wish it differently. And I feel incredibly guilty that I used to be her biggest support, but I've left her a bit high and dry. I'm doing better with my diagnosis and don't know how to be there for her without sacrificing my own mental health. Throwaway Pound says, you need therapy to work through your sadness and bitterness. Then, when you come to terms with it and don't project that issue onto your friend, you should ask her for a sincere apology. OP responds, I'm in therapy, and my initial ask was incredibly apologetic. I feel like a very crappy friend for leaving her without support. Well, it sounds to me like OP has some pretty solid advice, and she's already taken steps into getting better, like going to therapy and accepting everything that's going on in her life. What do you guys think? Anyways, let's move on to the update to see what ended up happening between OP and her friend. I waited a week or so to reach out, figuring that if there was a reason for her being distant, badgering her would only add to her stress. Plus, the holidays are busy anyway, so I waited until after Christmas. Then I reached out and told her that I missed her, and if she wanted to catch up, I would love to do so when she was available to hear about her holidays. We had a nice catch-up conversation, and while we didn't go into details about her pregnancy or my infertility struggles, I did casually ask her how she is feeling, any new updates, is family excited, etc. She mentioned a new PC game that she's been playing, For the King, and I ended up downloading it as well, and we've played together a few times since. I think it will become our thing to do together a couple nights a week. It's been a great way to connect and spend time from a distance. We live 5 hours apart. Overall, it's been fun and generally really great. It has the added benefit of giving us something to talk about other than our wombs. Lol. I'm still speaking to a therapist weekly, but the initial hurt of my diagnosis is fading. I'm hoping in the future I can get to a place where it doesn't sting hearing women complain about their pregnancy or infants, but it's a process. So yeah, it's not perfect, but neither is life. I'm just happy that we found a way to stay close even though we've hit a major split in the direction of our lives. OP's edit. I am reading every comment and replying to as many as I can, but wanted to post here just to say thank you to all the lovely humans who have offered support and kind words. To fellow infertile Redditors who have commented and sent me private messages, I see you and I hear you. It's difficult to hurt silently and you are not alone. And lastly, to those who continue to call me a bad friend, remember that you can't pour from an empty cup. And I've realized the best way I can support my friend is to heal myself to be there for her in the future. So if you want to call someone an ass, I'd head over to another popular Reddit thread to get your jollies. Well, OP, considering everything, this is good news. Friendship prevailed. You guys found a way to stay in touch without having to address something that could hurt both of you. And that's great. So in the meantime, OP, all the best working through the rest of your pain. And like you say, the best way to support your friend would be to heal now so you can be there for her in the future. Take care, OP. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.